major scholars in the field, such as Bart Ehrman, whom James White has debated, and he states in his book, Misquoting Jesus, page number 89 to 90, with this abundance of evidence, what can we say about the total number of variants known today? Scholars differ significantly in their estimates. Some say there are 200,000 variants known. Some say 300,000, some say 400,000 or more. We do not know for sure because despite impressive developments in computer technology, no one has yet been able to count them all. Perhaps, as I indicated earlier, it is best simply to leave the matter in comparative terms. There are more variants among our manuscripts than there are words in the New Testament. This is a major issue. This is a big problem.
These are statements that really do not deal honestly with the text of the New Testament. I lecture on this all the time, and we just had, I think, a classic example of giving only part of the information. When you tell people there are 400,000 variants in the New Testament, I start off my lectures giving that same information, and I say, well, think about it. There's only 138,162 words in the Nession Greek text of the New Testament. That's 3 variants per word. 99% of those variations cannot be translated into another language. They have to do with spelling, orthography, the movable new, things like that in no way, shape, or form can even be explained to someone who doesn't read Greek in the first place. There are approximately 1,500 to 2,000 meaningful, that is, they change the meaning of the text, and viable, which means that they could possibly be original. A scribe in the 15th century who had a bad morning and introduced a reading no one had ever seen before is not exactly relevant to actually the establishment of the text in the New Testament. That number also needs to be understood on another basis, and that is the more manuscripts you have, the more variants you're going to have. If you have only one manuscript of a book, how many variants are you going to have? None. But how
James,
much?
We have thousands of manuscripts of the Quran, but we don't have that same problem.
I'm not addressing the issue of the Quran at this moment. I'm pointing out that if you have 5,700 and approximately 59 manuscripts cataloged today, that's approximately 1.3 million pages of handwritten text. Remember, the New Testament existed almost twice as long as the Quran in a merely handwritten form. Now, when you actually look at the number of meaningful and viable variants, it adds up to about 1 per 3 pages. It's a very different story than the numbers that were just presented.
We have over 5,000 manuscripts just in the Greek language in which the New Testament was originally written. In these over 5,000 copies, there are hundreds of thousands of differences. As I often put it to my students, there are more differences in these manuscripts that we have than there are words in the New Testament. So we're talking about extensive variation. Most of these differences don't matter for anything. The majority of them probably do nothing more than show us that scribes in the ancient world can spell no better than my students can today.
And indeed, some of them probably don't even make a difference when it comes out in the translation of the English. The word order in the Greek,
many of them
may not even come out in any way.
Many of them you can't translate at all.
Okay.
They simply make no difference whatsoever.
Okay. Mm-hmm.